What is up, Tag family? This is Tag with you, DIY with Tag. I got a new project for you and a new tripod just behind me. So we're starting up some improved videography going forward. I appreciate y'all coming by. Today we got a new project. We are doing a window, under the window plant pot holder. Okay, so not a planter, but a rack basically for holding pots, just under the window. So you'll see a picture of the finished product pop up here while I'm talking. So I'll take you through how we did that and step by step try to go through it. So here we go. All right, y'all. So we got we're getting the project started here. Basically, we're going to be able to do this all with 1x2s. I'm going to prime and paint them white eventually once we get going here, but anyways, really all we need at the beginning of the project is the 1x2s. Got some paint and everything, so this whole project's gonna cost us $59.65 there. So this is not a heavy cost project. Just a bunch of 1x2s. We got 7 windows. 5 of the windows are 34 inches in length underneath. One is 40 inches and one is 36. So these here are 42-inch 1x2s. So obviously we're gonna do a little cutting of those, and then I found a few that were 36 inches in the waste piles at Menards. So these longer ones were 88 cents each. These shorter ones were 55 cents. So this is not going to be a heavy cost project. So here we go. Alright, y'all, as I'm preparing these to cut and getting measured, I just wanted to point something out. Where you can get these for cheap is in the irregular pile at Target, or at Menards. And as you can see, they're irregulars because they're slightly different lengths. Some are warped, so you really have to kind of be careful when you're picking them out. Okay, so the last cuts were all 15, needed 15 at 34. These last 3 cuts are 3 at 40. Alright, so cuts are made, and one thing I forgot to say is don't forget your awesome eye protection. I went with the hearts today, so there you go. Cuts are done. Alright, gang, so the cuts are done for our base. We have 5 windows at 34 inches, 1 window at 30, 1 window at 36, and 1 window at 40. So that'll make up where the pots sit on top. So next we got to make the base for the underneath, so we're going to do a mock-up of that under one of the windows and see what angles and measures we need for that. And we should be able to use some of our cut remnants for the base, the angles, as far as the bracing goes with the windows as well. So we're trying not to waste anything here. We should be able to use a lot of this to get the project done without waste. Alright, Tag family, so what we're doing is just mocking up how we want this to look right now. So basically the cuts that we made earlier are going to set on top of this board that I'm holding here, so they'll run, they'll run parallel with the house here, and then the brace is going to be perpendicular to all that. So we're going to cut these braces at about 12 inches and have them coming 12 inches out from the window there. Then we're gonna, so what we'll ultimately do is we'll get one braced right here up against the house, this one then on top of that, and then the rack there on top still. So y'all see it in action, but that's just the basics of how we're going to get this done. So I'll do a mock-up, so show you step by step, but that's what I'm looking at right now. Is I'm trying to measure how far out do we want it to come from the house, and then how long do we want the braces underneath. So here we go. All right, guys, so that is basically what our structure is going to look like. What you want to do, so you got to make these 45-degree cuts on your board as far as fitting the brace goes on each side. So your saw's got our saw's got the degree cut change here. Set it to 45 degrees. Make that angle cut on there as far as creating your bracing goes. So it's going to look like that. And brace complete. I'm still playing around with how long I want this bracing, but I think that's going to be about just right. So there's a quick look at it. 45 degrees on there. Fit it right in there. Beauty baby. All right, everybody. So there they are. There's the first set of braces, angle braces that'll be underneath the shelf there. So we got again 45 degree cuts to make these angles fit, and then we just screw them together at each of the ends here, and she's ready to go. So we'll go over and mock it up and see where we're at next. Alright gang, so after a very rough mock-up at the bases being 12 inches, I just decided that's too big. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to 8 inches. So each of these are going to be equally spaced across 8 inches. So 12 is just sticking out too far, looking a little too rough. So we're going to trim those down to 8s, and then we'll get to the finished product. Okay, our next cuts are marked. Let's get to work. Alright gang, so we got cutting 21/8 as far as the L of the brace goes. Now we're going to have to cut 14 more 8s and then angle cut them for the fit. So I decided to go with 8s on the L side of things, and then we'll cut some more 8s as far as to add to the brace for the angle cuts. So in total, that's going to be 35 8-inch pieces to cut for us here. More cuts, here we go. Alright, so we got 35 8-inch cuts here. I just wanted to show you, I mean, as you can see, I'm no expert with the saw, so some are a little uneven from each other, but what I was able to do is match them all up. So we got them all matched up, 8 inches, you know, just showing you nobody's perfect in this stuff, but with that many cuts, I just kind of matched up the ones that were a little off with each other, so they are all, you know, flush with each other at 8 inches. So now we'll build that angle bracket for them. So here's another mock-up, folks. That's what it's going to look like. The two 8s in the L, and then the 8 diagonal that's going to bracket here. We're going to do 45 cut on each end for that. Fit that right in there. And the first time around, just for my setup, I use screws to put everything together. But when we're doing this for the final product, we're going to use we're going to use the wood glue, and we're going to use the finishing nails, so that way we get a nicer finish with everything together without breaking, cracking the board. So we're going to use the glue and the nails at each of the joints there to finish it off. It's also a nicer clean look. You don't have the big screw heads through various parts of the wood as well. So we're going to do a nice finish with the finishing nails and the wood glue, and I'll show you the final product. Alright, so just going to show you the assembly of one of the L brackets here. So we're going to start the nail on one end, and then piece them together from there. So just like to start this nail until it just gets poking through. Gonna make it the easiest as far, there we go. So then when it's just showing through a little bit, it just gets a little bit easier as far as holding the two together here. So we're gonna add, now that it's showing through, we're gonna add some of that wood glue, and then we're gonna nail the two together. So glue it up, then we're gonna hold the two together and nail the rest of the way here. Okay, there we go. So then we've got our bracket with the glue and the finished nail. Like I said, looks a little bit better, a little bit cleaner without the big screw for one, but then we can glue and finish nail them together, and then we'll get our angle bracket in there. Okay, only 14 more to go. Alright guys, I'm going to try to show you this angle cut procedure here. So this is going to be the one that we're cutting. It's 8 inches. Basically what I'm doing is measuring in an inch on each end, and that's where I will begin my angle cut. So I'm just going to do the measure quick, and then we'll do the angle cut. So alright, so measured in an inch on each side. Then we've got the saw set at 45 degrees. Then we're going to cut in on each side. Those goggles on. Alright, there we have it. So there's the angle cuts. Alright, so we got the angle piece secured in there. Just finish our nail through. Bingo. Got her nice and secure. First side of the angle piece is now anchored in there. So we'll just get the other end. Alright, y'all, just showing you what we're going to use as far as painting goes. We're going to do a couple of coats on this. It is going to be outdoors with potted plants on it, so there's going to be watering, obviously weather of all kinds. Just going to work on getting this sealed up real good. Mold, mildew resistant, all that good stuff. So we'll paint them up and then we will assemble. Alright folks, so I was waiting for the first one to dry from painting. I've created the kits for the rest, so you'll see all the L's in the back there, and then the lines on here. These are all the ones I need to cut for the angle piece on the inside of the brackets there. So everything I already showed you as far as the cuts go. These will be all the angle cuts. I measured an inch in on each of those, except this small scrap one, about a ½ inch, I guess. So we'll do all those angle cuts, and then we'll assemble. We'll assemble all the L's with the angle cuts on the inside, and we'll have 7 plant pot holders. Hey guys, so here's the we got the finished product as far as the braces go. Here's the assembly line of the rest. I just got the angle cuts to do. Throw them together and then paint. You see some of the glue settling in a bunch of those. So hey, we're getting close. Alright y'all, all that's left now is the hanging. We got them all dried up from the paint and set up. So I've made some marks as far as where I want them here, about 4 inches from the underside of each of the windows. So we're going to screw those directly into and through the siding, and then we'll put the top on and it'll be all set. So here we go. Alright, so we're just going to put it straight into the siding from here. I got the 2.5 inch. I started it, screws, I already started it a bit. And so we'll get it in place and lock her in. Make sure you're staying straight as you go, and then you can see that the screw's just pulling it tight to the siding there. So a little too tight, going about right there. And so our first one in there, and then all right guys, last step is the securing the top boards, and then we'll be all set. Here we go. So the reason I went with the 3 separate boards for the top are twofold. One is we get a lot of snow here, so I don't want the snow piling up on a You know, if it was just one solid shelf, at least we got some room for that to go through. And same thing with drainage for rain and so forth. At least there's some space that the rain and snow can go through and melt through. All right, 2 more boards. There you go. So as you can see from that angle, this way we get some degree of drainage between the slats. All right, so there we go. That's what we're looking to do there. Here's the top view of it. So I'm gonna paint over the screw heads and everything, but that is it. So I'm gonna install a couple more and then we'll show you a group of them. All right, gang, there we go. We got 3 in place now. Just got some touch-up paint to do on, you know, the screw heads of a few of these, but there they are. There's a look at the plant holders on the window sills. So hopefully that gave you an idea or an option as far as sprucing up the outside of the house. As you saw in the very beginning, about 60 bucks worth of stuff, and we're gonna have 7 of these total. So however many you're gonna do, you know, just divide the price there. If you're doing only 3, then it's about half that price. So there it is. Again, I'm the Tag here, DIY with Tag. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Hit me in the comments if you have any questions on how we did something or what else you'd like to see. We'll see you next time.